What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. We got some absolutely wild news for you guys here in this video. Take a look at some of this stuff here. You can't make this stuff up. Okay, Trump's lawyer argues that a president can order a SEAL Team 6 to assassinate his political rival if Congress is cool with it. What? Yeah, what? Is this the United States? I'll give you the details on this. Also, did Russia, quote, accidentally bomb its own civilians for the second time in a week? Well, only in Russia? And Sweden's ominous warning to their citizens because of this grave situation. Yeah. Sweden trying to become the newest member of NATO. And, well, this is, well, a major situation here. So let me know your thoughts. We'll jump right in. Thank you so much for liking these videos. And if you haven't yet, subscribe so you don't miss out on more. I'll keep you up to date here on a daily basis. Here we go. Okay, yeah, so Trump's lawyer argues that a president can order a SEAL Team 6 assassination on a political rival if Congress okays it. Sounds like something out of Russia's playbook, or China, or North Korea, because this is what some other countries actually do. Would this actually be okay in the United States? Well, former President Donald Trump's attorney on Tuesday argued that a president could actually order the assassination of his political rival and couldn't be prosecuted for it unless Congress impeached and convicted the commander-in-chief first. This is what his actual lawyer is actually arguing in the United States of America. I just can't even grasp this here. Trump's lawyer made the argument in a contentious appeals court hearing Tuesday in the special counsel Jack Smith's election interference case against Trump. Trump's legal team has repeatedly argued that the ex-president has, quote, absolute immunity from criminal prosecution related to his acts while in office, a claim many legal experts reject. I guess absolute immunity would also mean you could assassinate people. Yeah. Pan wondered whether, according to Trump's team's argument, a president could be held criminally accountable for selling pardons or military secrets if he wasn't impeached or convicted by Congress for it. Quote, your position is that he can't be prosecuted for that unless he's impeached, Pan said. Yup, as long as it's an official act. Then Pan took it a step further. Quote, could a presidential order SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival? She said. That's an official act, an order to SEAL Team 6. Quote, he would have to be and would speedily be impeached and convicted before the criminal prosecution. Wow. But if he weren't, there would be no criminal prosecution, no criminal liability for that, question mark, she said. So I reiterated that a president would have to be impeached by the House of Representatives and be convicted by the Senate before he could be criminally charged for any acts related to his office. He stated to discuss the position of the founding fathers before Pan cut him off again. I asked you a yes or no question. Could a president who ordered SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival who was not impeached, would he be subject to criminal prosecution? If he were impeached and convicted first, and then she said, so your answer is, in fact, no. My, what is the world coming to? So you can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. So that would, in fact, mean that Biden right now, as the president, could theoretically do this to Trump in what Trump's lawyers are actually arguing right now, if you're actually listening to their arguments. Wow. Yeah, let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Meanwhile, Russia accidentally bombs their own citizens for the second time in a week. Imagine if this happened in the United States. Yeah, here's the details on this. Russia's military accidentally, quote, accidentally, targeted its own civilians on Monday for the second time in a week. A Russian aircraft dropped a bomb on the town Rubezhonye in the self-proclaimed Luhansk People's Republic, which is in the Ukraine's Donbass region, but is controlled by Kremlin-installed legislatures. Quote, as combat missions were executed by aircraft of the Russian aerospace forces over the city Rubezhonye, or however you pronounce this. An emergency discharge of a Fab 250 aircraft munition occurred, the Moscow-backed head of the region said in a post on a Telegram channel, adding that, of course, Russia's, of course, going to say there was no casualties reported. Who actually knows? Because, Russia's just saying that. People living in nearby houses were evacuated, have been offered opportunity to stay at a temporary accommodation center. This just goes to show you that Russia is not going to probably tell you the truth because there's nearby houses there. But they're going to tell you there's no casualties or injuries. It's Russia, right? So this marks the second case of a Russian aircraft accidentally hitting a Russian-controlled settlement in a week. On January 2nd, a plane accidentally fired a missile at a village in western Russia, destroying multiple homes. Yeah. In a rare admission, Russia Defense Ministry said one of its own warplanes accidentally targeted the village of Petropavlovka, damaging at least 6 privately owned villages. Videos circulating on social media showed a huge crater in the ground caused by an explosion of scattered debris. Wow. Anton Gurashenko, an advisor to Ukraine's Minister of Internal Affairs, later went on to say the Russian army is actually a threat to Russians. Can't make this stuff up. New details are coming in that Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is being treated for prostate cancer. Everybody's in this big hoopla that, he's, was being treated in the hospital. It wasn't reported. Nowadays, anybody in the public eye, can't undergo any treatment or, in the government without, telling their whole personal life story. New details are coming out that he's possibly being treated for prostate cancer. So you can let me know your thoughts here in the comments on that. Also, after 200 years, Russia has forced Sweden to come out of neutrality. This is how bad a lot of the world sees Vladimir Putin. And after 200 years of Sweden being neutral, they just can't take it anymore. They're finally going to join NATO, and they have now committed to having some NATO troops closer to the border there. And Sweden has actually issued an ominous warning to citizens, to their own citizens, and even NATO members around the world here. So here's what they're actually saying here. Swedish officials are warning their citizens and, well, people of the world to be readier than ever in case of war because, well, nobody trusts Vladimir Putin. In May, Sweden and Finland, known for their neutrality, announced that they would join NATO in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine earlier that year. and also Russia threatening Sweden and Finland with nuclear bombs. While Finland officially joined the alliance in April, Sweden's bid to join has been stalled by the Turkish president because, well, he's a lot of people think he's in cahoots a little bit with Vladimir Putin, calling it a red line. Later, the Turkish president gave his approval after some concessions and stuff. However, NATO secretary told German news last week that Sweden has made all the necessary concessions, predicting that the country will be approved as NATO's 32nd member by its next summit set for July in Washington, D.C. Sweden's entry into the alliance would boost NATO's regional impact, giving all 5 Nordic nations near total control of the, quote, NATO lake, a reference to the strategic importance of the Baltic Sea. Military air power provided to NATO on Sweden's behalf would be a challenge to Russian forces in the sea. Now, Swedish citizens are being asked to be more cautious and prepared than ever. Quote, for a nation whom has been at peace for a pleasant almost 210 years, the idea that it is an immovable constant is conveniently close at hand, said the Swedish civil defense minister said Sunday during an annual conference in Sälen, a village at the country's eastern side. Quote, but taking comfort in this conclusion has been more dangerous than it has been for a very long time. Many have said it before me, but let me do so in an official capacity. More plainly and more naked clarity, there could be war in Sweden. Unfortunately, this is largely due to Vladimir Putin and his threats, and a lot of it is not threats because he's actually at war. His words were not meant to cause fear, but rather to create situational awareness. He noted how Ukrainians likely thought their conflicts with Russia were a thing of the past until President Vladimir Putin decided to illegally annex Crimea in 2014, and then 8 years later launched a full-scale invasion of the country. This is stuff that's actually happening. Quote, societal resilience requires exactly that. Situational awareness, awareness among individual citizens, employees, entrepreneurs, and decision makers in public administration. But it is not enough to be simply contemplate the question. Civil defense is not primarily a theoretical exercise. Awareness must be translated into practical action, measures that actually raise the threshold. He said that wars in Ukraine and the Middle East indicate that the world has become more dangerous than it was just a year ago. And this is coming from a country that has been neutral for over 200 years. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date. If you haven't yet, please like this video. It helps out our channel. And if you haven't yet, subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so you don't miss out on new videos. Click here to see a controversial change that could cause a third world war. Or click here to see new tax changes that could give you up to $2,500. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.